All right, this is just the second part of that video I just did because the little guy that I was watching was coming up the stairs. He was downstairs watching a video. He is a little bit hard to get to do things, and there's just some days that I just don't have it in me to spend half an hour trying to get a kid to go outside. Like, he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go. So I was just letting him watch a video and I was getting myself ready. So he was coming upstairs to get me, and so I shut the video off, but I wanted to just come back on and just wrap it all up, okay? So there's a million things that I could talk about. There's a million things I want to talk about. And it is really only to help keep the seed that has been planted within you growing. Just to help keep watering it and watering it and watering it. And then it's blossoming into something beautiful. But sometimes we get a little too stuck and we kind of flatline, right? We just kind of stay stuck and flatlined. And I really was hoping that this channel could be a little bit of water for some people. Just like, again, another way to keep you flowing and to keep you growing and to keep you going despite everything that is happening. Again, not that I'm here as any authority or any expert or anything. It's just sharing and reminding you guys to not fall back into the mainstream stuff. Don't let yourself go back there. Don't let yourself go back there. And to keep moving forward and to start pulling away as much as you possibly can. And the real big wrangle is coming, right? They're really going to try to wrangle us back in because there's a lot of people trying to escape the prison, right? And there's a real big attempt that is going down to try to go get them all back in the pen, all right? So we have to keep going, no matter what. No matter what, we have to keep going, okay? And you really have to think of it that way. Because if you willingly go back to your captors and your oppressors and to the tyrannical forces that are trying to enslave humanity, then you're choosing it. Okay, and I've always said I'm going to die before I choose that. I legit will die before I choose my own enslavement. All right, so this is where we're at. And it's starting to get ramped up. But the good news is that we aren't alone. There are other people on the planet who share this. Okay, we happen to be the minority, but we are not alone. And I think things are starting to really amplify now. I can feel it. I can feel it in my own life. And I'll just leave you with this. So I was walking back. I had walked the little boy back home because I live right up the street. And I was walking back. And as I was walking, there's a big crack in the pavement. And, you know, we've all heard about, you know, the dandelions and some of the other things that come up through the crack in the pavement. Well, there was a big mushroom that was coming up in the pavement, coming up in the crack in the pavement. And the mushroom was pretty big. It had a decent size stalk on it. And it was probably like this big. And it was like all fanned out. And it was just this mushroom right in the middle of the road. Not directly in the middle, but it was definitely in the road. You could see it in the road. It wasn't like way off on the side. It was in the crack in the road. This mushroom. Nobody's run over it yet. It probably will get run over, but at some point, this big mushroom growing up in the crack in the pavement. And to think that's an interesting place for a mushroom to take root, right? Right up through the crack in the pavement. And it's amazing that all sorts of plant life will find a little area, even if it's a tiny little crevice, a tiny little area in between some rocks and a rock wall, start growing out of it. And that's who we are. That's what we are. We are all going to be those life forms that are going to be able to grow wherever we're planted. And it doesn't matter if it's a crack in the sidewalk. Okay, we're starting to really grow and take form, and we're starting to blossom where we are. We don't have to move away. We don't have to think that life is going to be better somewhere else, right? Because the whole world is under this dominating control. Okay? And humanity is going through a major, major transition. And there's people who are awakening, truly awakening, and there's people who are probably going to stay asleep or unconscious or disconnected, whatever word you want to use. And it's likely that we will never be the majority. I wish that we were. You all know that. But if we were the majority, the world wouldn't be the way that it is. Okay? We are clearly the minority. But the minority is where it's at. Okay? Yeah. We have to blossom where we are. We can't wait. No one's coming to save us. There's not going to be a better time. We can't keep waiting and waiting and waiting for a better moment to be who we are. We have to be who we are now, if we haven't already been doing it. And we have to continue to move and deepen and strengthen in that inner being of our truth. Because it is the reason we came here. All right? So don't forget that. I'll be signing out.